Hello everyone, welcome to RetroRedHead. This is our first look at the new Resident Evil remake from Capcom, Resident Evil 2. And we are going to be taking a look at a couple of different sections today in terms of what the game is like, gameplay, weapons, enemies, difficulty, etc. So the clip that we are watching here is from my first 90-minute live stream. So I played the first 90 minutes on stream when I got the game, and this is about a 10-minute clip that we're going to be going through so far. So I've got a couple of different sections to look at, so let's get to it. The first section that we're going to be looking at is the story so far. Now, if you're not familiar with the Resident Evil series, and this is the first one that you've ever played, you may be a little bit unsure about what's actually going on. Series veterans will know the story so far, but basically, long story short, the game's set in a fictional city called Raccoon City, that's in America, and a zombie outbreak has happened. Now, going through the game, you will slowly unfold different aspects of why the outbreak took place, what has caused the breakdown of the city when it's turned into chaos, and also who is behind that as well. Story-wise, so far I've played around 5 hours of the game in total, and it's very, very strong. Um, it's quite similar to the original Resident Evil 2 that was released back in 1998. However, there are some changes that have been made to make things a little bit smoother, a little bit easier to follow. Resident Evil games are synonymous for branching story arcs and lots of things going on at once, but this is fairly simple to follow. You play as Claire Redfield, who I'm playing as here, or as Leon Kennedy, who is a rookie cop on the first day of the job in Raccoon City, and he's thrown into this massive viral outbreak of the T virus, which has caused the zombie apocalypse basically in Raccoon City. And here I'm playing as Claire. Claire Redfield is the sister of Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 1 and subsequent Resident Evil games. She hasn't heard from Chris in a long time. She's very worried, so she's travelled to Raccoon City to find out where her brother is. So that's her story. She's searching for Chris and searching for answers. Leon is just basically trying to survive and get out of the city, alive. Both of the characters do bump into each other straight away, pretty much at the start of the game, and they're trying to meet back up and reconvene. So far, story is very, very strong. It's very well told. The acting in it is not like the original Resident Evil games. There's no real comic relief per se. It's rather good though. The characters are very believable. You do start to invest in them. It can be a little bit dry, but that's kind of taking the tone from the other Resident Evil games in the series. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is graphics, and my oh my, what a beautiful game this is. It's absolutely stunning. I'm playing this on the Xbox One S, so I'm not seeing the locked 60 frames a second or true 4K. However, I am playing it on a 4K television, and I believe it's running at 1080p. The video behind that you can see is a little bit choppy. I think that might be because well, it's either my editing software or it's the stream that was taken. I was streaming at 1080p at the time, but everything is absolutely gorgeous. The character models are very, very, very well done. Everything looks very believable. The backgrounds look absolutely fantastic. You feel like you are in an apocalyptic city that has been run over by zombies, or overrun by zombies, I should say. The police station's very intricate. Everything looks absolutely fantastic, and it's definitely a game to I reckon win one of the best looking of 2019, if not the last 10 years or so. It is brilliant. The zombies, that's a massive part of the game, of course, because they're the enemies that you're going to be fighting along with some other monsters. They look unbelievable. The level of detail that's been put into how they walk, how they react, how they look, all the damage that can be done to them, all of the blood splatter. You can pick them apart with your gun. You can blow legs off, arms off, holes in the head, holes in the stomach. The blood that squirts out is realistic. All the blood and guts that come out. It's very, very. If you love gore, you will love this game. It's truly, truly stunning. The lighting, as you can see in this clip here, this is all done in game. It's in-game engine, but everything reacts as it should. You can't see too far ahead of you with the flashlight, and then the zombie will pop out, and it's so scary. But it's absolutely fantastic. It's very, very well done, and Capcom have really surpassed themselves. The Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, it was a very, very good pick to use with this game, and any subsequent games that are made, hopefully more Resident Evil series remakes using this engine, they'll look just as good, if not better. So next we're going to move on to sound design. Scary, atmospheric, brutal, fantastic. The game is very well done in terms of sound. It sounds like you are in like you're in a real situation with, zombies. You can hear them in the background moaning and, crackling with the sounds of all the fluid in the lungs, and the footsteps in the background, water dripping, blood squelching, bodies, being dragged along the floor, things like that. It really is atmospheric. Everything does sound like it should do, and it is very, very believable. They've done a very, very good job on the sound design on this, and it is truly terrifying. A lot of these horror games play on the senses, so light and sound. This, I can certainly say 100% is spot on. Everything is absolutely spot on. A little bit further on in the game, you come across a particular enemy. I won't spoil it for you, but the one way that you can tell that it's around is by its footsteps, and it is terrifying when you hear them footsteps. It sends a chill up your spine. It really is scary, and that, I think, is a job well done, because if the sound is on point, you can get scared just by hearing little things. The guns react very well in terms of sound. They are quite realistic. You can select some DLC if you want to buy it, that replaces the sounds and the music with the original game, the original Resident Evil 2 sound effects and music score. And I've not heard that, but from what I've heard of this particular score and this particular soundtrack and sound effects, everything's just as it should be. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, big part of the game, obviously, is gameplay, and it certainly wins my approval there. It really does handle very well. The characters, they handle just like they should. There's no tank controls in this. It is very Resident Evil 4 and beyond in terms of how it handles. Everything's very fluid, very easy to use. Controls are very well laid out, and they can be a little bit confusing at first, simply just because you're getting used to the controls of the game. But once you have mastered them, very, very easy to use. Nothing's hard to do. The camera's really good. As you can see, it's an over-the-shoulder perspective, like was used in Resident Evil 4 and subsequent games after that. However, I think that it fits in really well with this game. It does work. I'm not massively a fan of third-person games per se. However, that's not swung my opinion on this. I've gone into this with an open mind, and the controls and the gameplay are really, really good. Gunplay is excellent. Puzzle solving's fantastic. Very, gets your brain working. So that's always cool. Weapons, short little section on weapons. The game does revolve around using weapons, of course, to kill zombies. They handle perfectly well. You've only got a very limited amount of ammunition, and my goodness, you better save that ammunition, because you're going to run out very, very quickly. Everything in terms of the weapons handles really well. The knife handles really well. It's quite a unique way that you use a knife in this game, because you can lose it and it will break after a while. Grenades, they can be used as well, flashbangs and hand grenades, they're really good to use as well. Enemies, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. These zombies will not die. The one thing that you need to realise with this very, very early on is that you can pump a full magazine's worth of bullets into a zombie and it will not die. So the best thing that you can do is run away, run past them. And if you need to dispatch one, make sure you dispatch one with a couple of shots in the head and it will go down. But they are brilliant, brilliant enemies in this game. Very well thought out and very, very scary indeed. Difficulty, hard as hell. Even on the normal difficulty, this game is truly, truly hard. But it's in a good way. It's very rewarding, and fans of the series will love to play this game. It has got adaptive difficulty, so it will get harder and harder depending on how you play, or it will get a little bit easier if you're struggling. But I think the on the whole, the difficulty is spot on for the game as well. And finally, some closing words from myself. So far, this game, I give it an absolute 10 out of 10. It's very, very well done. It's absolutely stunning to look at and great to play. I cannot wait to finish it and play through Leon's side of the story and also the scenario B as well. But I'll definitely be playing this until the end, and I thoroughly recommend it. Thank you very much.